Welcome back to Mad Bets, Yahoo Sports weekly betting show. It's week 16, man, and we're coming off of an undefeated week. I'm super pumped.
Last week was good. It was good. All our picks, I was like, man, something ain't adding up, man. How we winning these much?
4-0, man. We started the season kind of rocky, but we are definitely ending on the upswing.
Well, you know what's even better than that is the fact that my 5-star confident picks have hit 6 straight.
6 straight?
6 of them.
Well, let's make it 7. We're going to bet on every NFL game this week, but let's start with Locked and Loaded, our best picks of the week. Our odds boost even hit last week, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to parlay our best 2 picks. What's your best pick of the week?
My best pick of the week is a steal, guys. I don't know why Vegas did this. I'm like, y'all trying to trick me? I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks minus 9.5 at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let me tell you this, all right? Cardinals playing a dome. They have a rookie quarterback, and they're going against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle with the 12th man for a game where Seattle could be the #1 seed in the NFC. I think Seattle blows them out, all right? They already beat them pretty badly in Arizona, but now you got Kyler Murray, who's been kind of rocky throwing interceptions these last couple weeks, going into the 12-man cold atmosphere, and I just feel like Russell Wilson gets this done. I think Russell Wilson and their team scores at least 30 points. I don't know if Kyler Murray can put up that kind of points. Give me the Seahawks up to 10, up to 14, really.
Up to 14?
Yes, they're going to blow them out. It's not going to be close. I wouldn't pick 9.5 if I thought they were going to win by 10.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Every time I bet against Kyler Murray, I feel like I always lose. I don't know how that's possible, but it's probably because I'm betting on teams like the Browns. But last week they looked okay, but it's really hard to bet against Russell Wilson right now, especially at home.
And they've been playing hot. I mean, did you watch what happened to them when they played the Rams like 2 weeks ago? Don't let the Browns fool you. The Browns are the Browns. Arizona, when they played against the Rams, that's what it's going to be similar to with the Seahawks this week.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. And I think Russell Wilson, especially in this time of the year, he wants to get that #1 seed. So you feel like they would definitely push it as hard as they can.
Russell in December is amazing. Russell and Aaron Rodgers in December are like 2 of the best quarterbacks out there. And they are regular season, but just December, they turn it to another level.
All right.
Who are you liking?
Well, speaking of one of the best quarterbacks out there, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs minus 4.5 at Chicago. Here's why. Teams like Chicago, who now their playoffs, any hopes that they have is over. That defense is not going to be nearly as amped, which means that the Chiefs are going to be able to push it, and they get booed at home, the Bears. And they're one of the only teams that regularly gets booed, so you don't want to be on that side. 4.5 is not even nearly enough.
I love that pick, actually.
Thanks,
Can I make
dude.
that my 5-star comp?
No, I love it when you love my
Well, the
picks.
reason
It makes
why,
me feel
first of all,
happy.
I think the Chiefs are playing the best football right now. Their defense looks amazing, which is crazy to say for the Chiefs. And their offense is still strong. Special teams coming around. If Andy Reid can hold on for the playoffs, I think they run the table here. First of all, I seen the Chiefs, they like the cold, okay? Chicago, they didn't know home field advantage. You see them in the snow the other week? They were literally making snow angels and running out there with no socks and shoes on. I was like, yo, any team that's that bold in the cold, I don't think I fear that. And I'm not taking Trubisky. I'm taking it, I like the Chiefs there.
As long as Patrick Mahomes can stay healthy, that team is dangerous.
Even when he's hurt, he's still pretty good.
If they get Matt Moore in there, it's going to be a little bit different. But I think the over-under for this is like 44.5, and usually Bears over-unders are 38, and that's because they're thinking the defense isn't going to show up as strong as it has in past weeks, at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Especially after that crushing loss to the Packers.
They got to get a quarterback there, man.
I know. This is our odds boost parlay of the week. You can bet on both these teams. You got to go to betmgm.com/Yahoo to sign up. New Jersey users only, 21 and older. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. But it's 2-1.
And it gives you an odd bills. You make extra on it. If they both hit, they was like, yo, this is what you would have made, but since you was watching the show, here go a little more.
Here's a little extra. All right. Extra games.
So we give it a little extra. Let me give you a little extra sauce this week, guys. The Denver Broncos minus 6.5 at home against the Detroit Lions. I don't know if you noticed or not, the Detroit Lions are banged up. It's not even the same team they had at the beginning of the year at all. And I think right now they're going to a tough home field environment because it's high altitude, cold. It might not be that cold on Sunday, but I do think that a dome team playing outside in Denver is not going to fare well. And I think that right now the Detroit Lions defense can't stop a cold. And I think that Drew Lock has been playing amazing. The last week in the cold against the Chiefs are that good, so don't let that game steer you from this one. I like the Broncos to roll here.
And Blau kind of lets it sail. So with that altitude, you think it might go, he might be overthrowing it, a couple extra picks. I like it. I mean, anytime you're taking 6.5 points away from the Broncos, it's a little bit sketch. And I hate the Blau guy. He kills me every time that I bet against him.
I mean, he killed me one time when he played for Purdue when Ohio State lost to him. But other than that, he's pretty safe money.
It's a long time ago. I like Denver.
How we agreeing on all our picks? I feel like we have.
Because we're in a good mood.
I know.
We're not mad at each other. We're both telling each other. You even hit your other picks. Like,
yeah,
it's a solid week.
We won money. We're just sitting there relaxing. We're like, I like your pick. I like your pick.
Let's keep betting. All right, well, I'll keep going.
What's your last lock?
I think you're going to like this one, too. I'm taking the Saints -2.5 at Tennessee. I know it seems like a trap game, but so what? It seems too easy. It seems like way too easy money to only get 2.5 points taken away when you're the New Orleans Saints right now. Plus, they really need the win. Yeah. Because if they don't win, and somehow the Packers get that 2 seed, and they end up playing at Green Bay in the playoffs, that's actually a really bad matchup for them. So they really need to do everything they can to try to get home field advantage.
Man, I'm going to tell you, when I first seen this line, when they sent me, I was like, something's wrong. Wait a minute, y'all got a typo here. It's supposed to be 12. It's supposed to be 9. and then I started doing a little bit of research. I still like the Saints because that's been the team I rock with the whole time. But Tennessee is playing basically virtually a playoff game. If they lose this game, they probably may not make it to the playoffs. And with that kind of inspiration, and I think Tannehill's been playing really good, Derrick Henry, this could be a close game. And maybe the line, Vegas got me thinking in my head too much. But I'm like, could they win? Maybe. Who knows? It doesn't hurt the Saints to lose. They're still going to go to the playoffs. Yeah, they would have to have a road game. But even if they went out and the Packers went out, I think they still may have that road game. So I don't know. They could be in a situation where if they lost here, it wouldn't hurt them too much. I'm 50-50, but I think I would not touch the bet, or I bet the Saints.
All right, so you technically kind of agree with me.
Yeah.
So we agree on every single pick. That's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. We're coming off
and you're taking two road favorites. You like road favorites. I'm taking two home teams. I'm taking 2 home field advantages. The Denver Broncos and the 12th man in Seattle, and you're taking 2 road favorites.
But that's why we say that we're part of the betting public. Like, we can say we're sharps all we want, but we are just kind of betting with our hearts, a little bit with our minds.
I'm 6-0 on my 5-star confidence, man. I'm about to put a Sharp, Mr. Sharp, Jared Sharp Quay. Can I put that in the middle name, be Sharp?
All right, well, we can name you Sharp, but I think it's important to actually talk to somebody who understands what sharp betting is. I think it's time for some smart money with Jeff Stoneback, Director of Trading from MGM Resorts. Jeff, thanks so much for stopping by. As Director of Trading at MGM Resorts, you know so much more than me and Jared do. But Jared has a question for you about last week.
Yeah, all 4 of our locked and loaded picks hit, so I know y'all had to take a hit. Did y'all take a hit?
Oh, we did well. You were on the our side here, And your best bet was the Cowboys -1.5. Somebody must have listened to you because we took money on the Cowboys later on, but it was still a good game for us.
Gotta love those times when you're on the opposite side of the money. Is there any games this week that you've taken a lot of action on?
Actually, there is one game. We took a 6-figure bet on the Texans -2.5. We're up to 3 there now, and today we had quite a bit of sharp money come in. We took some money on the Vikings. We were at 4.5. We're up to 5.5. And another one, the Chiefs. We were at 5. We're up to 6 now with the Chiefs. So that sharp money came in on those 2 teams today.
In terms of the Vikings, I just have to ask, because Kirk Cousins really doesn't do well in prime time. Is that being taken into account at all, or is it other stuff that's making them a favorite?
It's other stuff. They don't account to what day they're playing or whatnot, but he's just had a bad run on those primetime games, so he's due.
He is due. I'm a big Michigan State fan, so I'm always kind of cheering for him. But
home field advantage hasn't had too much of a. This year, it seems like road favorites are still covering. Does that weigh in on you guys' set lines?
Well, the home field we give about a 3-point spread for, but it just happens to be a run going on the last month or so. A lot of favorites have been covering, which usually is not good for us. But so it's about 3 points to the point spread on the home team favorite.
Do the Chargers still get the same 3 points, or is that a little bit less?
Actually, we consider them a road team, basically, when they're at home.
Really? That is so amazing.
But it's not, that's one of those teams where you don't get the full 3 points, Same thing in college basketball. There's some arenas that are much more home advantage than other teams.
Sure. Well, speaking of college, before we let you go, we have a disagreement. I really like Ohio State. He likes Clemson. But is there one team in the playoffs that you guys have the most liability for right now?
Actually, I'm surprised about that Clemson game right there because I thought the public would come in on Ohio State, but we've been taking a lot of money on Clemson. So out of the 2 playoff games, we've taken the most money on that game, and everybody's been playing Clemson because Ohio State is always a public team, and we've taken a ton of money on them this year. So it's very surprising right now that the money is coming in on Clemson, but there's still a long ways to go, so we could have a shift there. You never know.
Oh man, I don't know if
Now I
that
feel
should
like
make
I'm
me
with the
feel
public.
good.
I'm with the public now. I want to be on Vegas' side.
I know, but I'm on the public team, so that's even worse if they don't believe in that team. That's what scares me the most. But all right.
I'd be surprised when that game kicks off if we actually need Ohio State. I anticipate money will come in on Ohio State. So you'll be on the right side.
Wait until after Christmas to put a little money down.
Gotta wait on it. But. All right, Jeff, thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. As Jared said, it's his favorite part of the show. Again, this is Jeff Stoneback, Director of Trading at all the MGM resorts. We will see you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Now it's time for a Celebrity Shot with Joe Fortenbaugh from ESPN's Daily Wager. Joe, thanks so much for stopping by. We got a packed Saturday full of football. What's your best bet?
I'm going to lay the 3 with the Texans at Tampa Bay. Tampa's on a nice little run, having ripped off 4 in a row, but look at the combined record of those 4 teams, 19-36-1. They haven't beaten a single team with a winning record in that stretch. This is a big step up in competition, especially when you consider the fact wide receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have been lost for the year. Evans and Godwin account for 44% of the team's receptions, 54% of the team's receiving yards, and 56% of the team's receiving touchdowns. That is a massive chunk of production that needs to be replaced. When you factor in Tampa ranking 30th in the National Football League in scoring defense, as well as first in giveaways. Jameis Winston's going to give away those opportunities. You know it. I'm going to lay the field goal with Houston. I think it should be comfortable, and they can cruise into Week 17.
I love that pick, and not to mention that they need the win, whereas the Bucs seem to be pretty much out of it. So I would be all over the Houston Texans. Jared, what is your best pick for Saturday?
I like the over. I hope Jameis Winston throws 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions for touchdowns. It's fun watching him. I'm taking the team that's playing against the Patriots at home. I don't like the Patriots. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been saying this all year, guys. They've been overrated. Even the Bengals game last week, they weren't blowing them out, all right? It was a closer game than it looked on the box score, all right? So I think the Bills at +6.5, this is gonna be the Bills Super Bowl. They got a chance to win the AFC East for the first time in forever. And I think they're gonna come out there, they're gonna be Bills Mafia breaking tables in Foxborough, lighting themselves on fire. Just look on Twitter before the game, you be like, yo, Bills Mafia is there. And you got 6.5 points. I like a money line, but I'm gonna tell you to take them to 6.5 so you don't gotta stress as much as I will watching the game.
It's important to note that you're very biased against the Patriots.
It's not that I'm biased. Tom Brady isn't the same Tom Brady he's been. He's getting older, and Julian Edelman's hobbled, and they don't have any receiver core. They miss Gronkowski. Gronk, do me a favor. Go back to the Patriots so they can be good again, because Gronk, they need you.
All right, I still would take the 6.5 there, even though you are pretty biased. But I'm also going to lay 6.5 with the 49ers against the Rams. The Rams look like they might be making a small push there at the end, but last week was a huge step back, and I know the 49ers want that home field advantage. So I'm taking San Francisco -6.5. It's a packed football day for anybody that's a sports fan. But if you're a big fan of sports, make sure to check out the Joe Lowen Dibs radio show at 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. And also don't miss the Daily Wager, all that have our friend Joe Fortenbaugh on. Joe, thanks so much for stopping by.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me.
It's time for your favorite part of the show. It's Jared, me, my commitment of the week. All right, last week I won with Seattle. They won. And if you've been using me for your survivor picks, you probably lost already. But if you haven't been using me, it's a perfect time to use me right now because I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts -300 as a well pick over the Carolina Panthers, all right? Let's be honest, the Colts have had a decent season, but they're a little bit down, but it's a good chance for them to get back on the winning end by playing against a lowly Carolina team. I mean, let's be honest, even Christian McCaffrey's like, I don't want the ball no more, man. Y'all just give me the ball and y'all don't win. I think the Colts played the Saints good. The Saints are just that good. They got T.Y. Hilton back, Marlon Mack back, and it's a perfect setup for them to win. Maybe not by 7, but that's why we're taking the money line at -300. How you feel about that?
I feel all right about it. I mean, Will Greer starting for the Panthers, so it's easy to kind of bet against them.
What do you think? He's on the roids? He's juicing?
This is one of those times that I'm just going to say there's no value in taking the Colts -300 because we still think they might be able to lose.
They won't lose.
There's a chance they lose.
See, every time you say that they lose, man, why don't you just roll with me on a commitment of the week, man?
Well, I do roll with you on it. We're always rolling on this together. I'm just saying sometimes
when they say the Colts
we crash and burn.
Let me hear you say the Colts are going to win out your mouth.
The Colts are going to win.
See, that was terrible, man. All right, give me the Carolina Panthers hat. Where is it at?
No, we don't got a Carolina hat. No,
I'm joking. No, Colts will win this game. I'm very, very confident of that, all right?
And in the Christmas spirit, even though it's not 100% Christmas yet, you got the ugly hat. Instead of ugly sweater, it's ugly hat.
This is a nice hat. And you can have one of these hats on the Yahoo Sports Shop.
Get your favorite team merchandise at Yahoo Sports Fan Shop.
All right, Jared, it's time for Tasty Teaser with our friend Minty Betts. Minty, thank you so much for stopping by yet again. It's time for another 7-point teaser. Who do you got?
This week, I'm teasing the under for the Steelers-Jets game from 38.5 to 45.5. Both the Steelers and the Jets are two of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Pittsburgh has an elite defense, and the Jets can stop the run most of the time. In their last 10 meetups, the total has gone under 9 times, so I like the under.
All right, I think betting the under in any Steelers game is the way to go. Jared, what are you thinking?
I bet the Steelers in every under game is the way to go. No. I'm taking on my teaser. This is easy. I think they cover regular. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens from -9.5 to -2.5, okay? The Ravens did lose to the Browns in week 4 at home, but that's not happening again. Since that game, the two teams have been the opposite. Ravens have run the table, and the Browns are just the Browns. I don't know what happened. Odell wants to be traded. Freddie Kitchens knows he's going to lose his job, and Baker Mayfield's too worried about his endorsements to even play good as a quarterback. They lost Myles Garrett, and this is the stat I love the most, all right? Since that game, the Ravens are averaging 5 yards per play, and the Browns are averaging giving up 5.7. I think that goes even bigger. I think this is a blowout, and I think Lamar Jackson will be sitting on the sideline by the fourth quarter.
I'm worried about that. I think the Browns win straight up.
Well, you be wrong. You be wrong. You be wrong, Gothard. You be wrong.
All right, I'm taking the Green Bay Packers from +3.5 all the way up to 10.5. Kirk Cousins has not won a primetime game yet for the Minnesota Vikings, and now we're going to start taking away points from him, especially against the Green Bay Packers. That is not a winning recipe for me, so give me 10.5 with the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to win straight up. All right, that's our 7-point teaser. Throw $5 on it, maybe see what happens. Always gamble responsibly. If you need any gambling content on Twitter, make sure to follow Minty @MintyBets. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
All right, where's Matt Harmon? It's time for Give Me Some Props.
Harmon, welcome back. 3-0 again last week. It's almost like you do this for a living.
I told Jared to just follow me, Gothard. Can you believe it? And he went away from me, and that's the one he loses. How embarrassing.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, man. Harmon has bragging rights right now, and I can't stand it.
All right, well, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, let's start it off with another Aaron Rodgers prop. Who's going to have more passing touchdowns? Kirk Cousins, -0.5 versus Aaron Rodgers. Harmon, what are you thinking?
Yeah, the -0.5 is the big difference maker for me here because, look, I went away from Aaron Rodgers last week, but I'm going to ride with him here because this Vikings secondary, number one, has become extremely flammable of late. You can really beat guys like Xavier Rhodes, these studs that have been there for a long time. They're starting to fall back to the pack a little bit. And, of course, Jared, hang on just a second. I got to do a little bit of math here. Kirk Cousins right now is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in touchdown rate. Typically, those stats will regress over the year. I think Aaron Rodgers actually is due for a little bit of a touchdown bump here, mathematically speaking. So look at that. You've got the football knowledge. You've got the math. When that lines up, I think you go with Rodgers here.
I agree. Jared, you think Rodgers as well, right?
When the football and the math add up, and Harmon bets for him, go the opposite route. I don't like Rodgers. He hurt me last week. And to be honest, all right, hold on. Let's be honest. Thielen's coming back this week, and Kirk Cousins has better receiver options right now. Fight me if you want. Everybody loves Devontae Adams. I think Stephon Diggs and Thielen are going to go do well. And Rudolph be catching. You see that catch Rudolph made? I feel like, man, you know what? Kirk Cousins, easy. He's going to throw 2 more touchdowns.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers in this one. I still can't believe the Vikings are favorites. I said it earlier on the show, but Kirk has not won a primetime game for them yet, and now we're going to take away points from them and hear touchdowns.
Did you watch what they did against the Chargers last week on the road? I don't know if you
that wasn't primetime. It was also against the Chargers.
On the road, too, by the way.
On the road where all the opposing fans go. So I'm taking Rodgers. Already some disagreement early here. Next up, we got Lamar Jackson, one of the hottest topics in the NFL, over under 3.5 total touchdowns. What are you thinking, Harmon?
I mean, it's aggressive, but I am going to go over here because, look, Lamar is the MVP. He's the story of the season. Shut down the voting now. And that Browns defense showed last week they couldn't even stop Kenyon Drake. And, I got respect for Kenyon Drake being free from Adam Gase and all that. But come on, this is Lamar Jackson. It's not just that the Ravens have been unstoppable. It's how unbelievably easy they make everything look. And I do not think the Browns have the horses to stop them here.
All right, Quay, you disagreeing again?
I mean, the man threw for 5 touchdowns last week, man. I just feel like 3.5 is kind of lowballing him. It's kind of like, yo, do you think he's going to get that in the first half? Is a better bet. I just feel like the Browns are tanking. They're at the point where they're all fighting each other. They're all worried about themselves. They're not playing team defense or team football. And I think the Ravens are the opposite. They're playing extremely well team football. And the only way I don't see him getting that is he's like, yo, I want Mark Ingram to catch me in touchdowns. And he starts handing the ball off in the red zone. But I like 3.5 easy.
Ingram's why I'm taking the under, because I think he's going to steal a couple of these touchdowns. If it was 3, I might go over and hope for the push, but 3.5 is a lot. So I'm taking the under going against you guys. Probably a good thing for Ravens fans. Last but not least, more yards. Michael Thomas or Derrick Henry this weekend. Harmon, what are you thinking?
I love this line because these are two of my favorite players in the NFL. Derrick Henry is one of my favorite running backs. Michael Thomas, obviously one of my favorite wide receivers. I'm going to go with Thomas here because the weakness right now in this Tennessee Titans defense is their cornerback core. Malcolm Butler has been on IR for quite some time. Adoree Jackson has been up and down and has also been hurt himself. They've got scrubs out there playing at that outside corner position, and I think that's huge for Michael Thomas. Also, Derrick Henry, a little bit, shaky right now injury-wise. I don't necessarily know that he's going to have one of his big explosive games. And also, the Saints offense, by the way, they're rolling so hard right now. I think they're going to be up pretty heavy on the Titans, and Derrick Henry doesn't have much of a passing game role. So with total yards, rushing yards, whatever, I think Thomas gets over on him here.
The Titans eventually have to lose, I think. So, like you said, it would be really hard for Henry to outgain him. What are you thinking?
Henry.
Of course.
Henry's going to get in one run what Michael Thomas has in the game, all right? Michael Thomas is good. He's Drew Brees' safety net. I've never seen Drew Brees take one receiver and target him as much as he does with Michael Thomas. But at the same time, Henry's going to run for 90 yards. He's going to catch 75 yards out the backfield. And if you had a flex position open and you had to start Henry or Michael Thomas, you know you're not starting Thomas, bruh.
If you're flexing either one of those guys, no wonder you've already won your league. Give me a break, Jared.
Jared, you're right. The Titans did lose. I don't know what I'm talking about, which means I probably don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm taking Michael Thomas to beat Henry, mainly because I need the Saints to win. And so in order for that to happen, I'm going to need some major yards from Thomas. So I'm
Please let me be Harmon. Please let me be Harmon this week. I gotta be.
You're gonna need a little.
I can't take Harmon winning 2 weeks in a straight. I'm a fantasy expert too, Harmon. Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, on that freezing cold take, we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for stopping by, Matt Harmon. If you need any fantasy advice, at Matt Harmon _BYB.
Matt Harmon is dope, man. I hate him, but I love him at the same time. It's weird.
We love him. We love him. It's the holiday spirit.
But you know what we don't love?
The rest of these football games, Jared. It's tough. I don't hate it because we aren't betting on every single game. That's crazy. We're going to eliminate every game we hate and find one that we don't hate. And I'm going to let you start off.
Because there's a game that I truly, truly hate.
Everybody hates it. Tell them what
Everybody hates the Cincinnati Bengals playing against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
All right. At the beginning of the season, people were like, "Yo, well, these teams both go 0-0. I mean 0-16." And they're like, "Well, they can't because they play each other." And ta-da, that game's now. And guess who's not watching it? This guy. I don't want to see this at all.
Imagine feeling good about betting on either one of these teams. Being like, oh, Andy Dalton, he's coming through, or Ryan Fitzpatrick, money. The only bet you could possibly put in this game is like find somebody that's offering the tie for plus 900 or whatever and just root for the tie. And because it could happen. They both want to lose that bad.
That would be crazy. Actually, you know what I think? I would bet that Joe Mixon is thinking about Tom Brady at some point during this game.
All right, we'll have to ask him.
Well, he's going to tweet it out after the game about how, like, oh, I was so happy I got that Tom Brady jersey, and that made my game, and that's why I won somebody that fantasy championship because I rushed for 120 yards.
All right, we've talked about this game way too much. I'm going to move on. I'm taking off your Jacksonville Jaguars, plus 7.5 against the Atlanta Falcons, mainly because I hate betting on the Jaguars. I hate betting on the Falcons, and I'm not taking the over-under in this one. So I'm staying away. 7.5 seems like a lot, but maybe the Falcons cover.
I don't hate this game, all right?
Well, because you love the Jaguars.
Well, yeah, because I'm a fan, but I'm watching the game for sure, all right? Because my brother is in the Pro Bowl, and Jacksonville Jaguars, he's finna ball. He's finna get 3 sacks this game. But it's gonna be a high-scoring game. This game will be, I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's anything I've learned, death taxes and betting the Jaguars over this season. All right? They didn't cover last week, which is crazy, but the Jaguars defense will let points go. And Atlanta's like, yo, we just care about scoring points at this point. We're doing it for stats, so I like the over this game.
Fun fact, Jacksonville Jaguars went under last week.
I know.
Yeah,
but that's,
went under.
That's only because they were like, we want to let Oakland win in the Coliseum, and they were like, oh, y'all don't want to win? All right, we'll win. And they came back and scored at the end of the game.
All right. Let's move on.
No, you tried to make me look bad, and I'm not going to do it, all right? Hey, first of all, Jacksonville's going to win this game outright. All right, they already said it. I don't hate it. I think Jacksonville wins. Again, take my words with bias, because if you bet on them and they lose, I'm a fan. So, but I think they win.
All right, are you going to take the next game off, or do I have to do it?
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
All right, we hate the Giants plus 2.5 against the Redskins. You lost your chance. There's no reason to bet on either one of these teams. NFC East is a dumpster fire.
You don't want to bet on this is the real game with the NFC East. Nobody wants to see the Cowboys and the Eagles. They want to see the Redskins versus the Giants and see who can blow this game first.
The Giants probably will.
I don't know. The Redskins were winning all last week, and they were like, you know what? We should probably lose this game.
But earlier this year, and I know that they had Daniel Jones, but I made the mistake of being like, Redskins, they can cover 3 against the Giants, and then they got smoked. So maybe the Giants, but now that Eli's back, it's
and
like,
Haskins,
eh.
I don't think his first game starting.
I'm not sold on Haskins.
I'm sold that he's a winner. And he's playing. All right. I'm taking the next one off because you did the last one. All right.
What do you got?
I'm not taking the Las Vegas Raiders because they're no longer Oakland versus the Chargers. All right. Both of these teams are like choke artists, and if you bet your money on them, you can be happy at the beginning of the game, and you can be like, how did they blow that lead? So don't bet on it at all. Take my words. If you're thinking about betting on it, stop.
It's funny because everybody was saying that last week was the Raiders' last home game, but nobody goes to the Chargers game, so this will probably be their last home game. In a small area, they might cover it. I guess I'd probably take the Chargers.
Will somebody get booed this game? That's the real bet.
Everybody's going to get booed in this game.
I feel like the fans are like, we're just too tired to even boo.
All right.
What game don't we hate?
I guess we don't hate the other NFC East game. Kind of a playoff game. Dallas minus 2.5 at the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got in this one?
I love this game.
I think we're both agreeing.
No, you said you don't hate it, but I love it.
You love it, okay.
I've been a Cowboys fan this year, just sports betting purposes only, all right? And first of all, Cowboys suck against teams with winning records. But guess who doesn't have a winning record?
The Eagles.
The Eagles. And Cowboys are going to blow them out. They're going to blow them out. They're going to the playoffs, and they're probably going to win their first playoff game against the 49ers. I'm calling it. Take it as you want. Zeke or Elliott. Every time Zeke runs for over 100 yards, they win. And so I think Zeke's going to have a field day here, and I think the Eagles lose this game.
You know, I was feeling bad for the Rams because I thought that the NFC East team that wins this is going to get into the playoffs over them, and obviously they have a way better record. But last week, they just got embarrassed by the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win this one because the Eagles are so injured. I know it's outside, but it'd be hard not to bet on the Cowboys. But money line, I don't like the 2.5.
They're starting to feed Zeke. At first, I was wondering, like, why are they not giving Zeke the ball? But now they're like, Zeke eating. He's doing this. And it's almost a Christmas game, so he's going to hop into the salvation thing. They win when he does that.
I don't hate it when he does that. Do you know what else I don't hate? The college football playoff.
Yeah, you keep using that. You can't keep using that line, but I love the college football playoffs.
First up is the Peach Bowl. LSU minus 14 against Oklahoma. Who are you taking in this one?
Gotta go LSU. They've been dominant this whole year. I ain't gonna lie, their offense is good, their defense is good. The whole state of Louisiana is supporting them. I think they're gonna travel in numbers. LSU's been beating really, really good SEC teams by more than 14. Oklahoma is a bad defense, so I don't see how they don't put up at least 50 points. I don't see Jalen Hurts running touchdowns on these guys. So I think LSU does what Baylor should have did and keep their halftime lead of more than 10 points, and they make it 21. I think LSU wins by 21. That's what we're going to take.
They might be up 21, but I'm taking Oklahoma in plus 14 because if Jalen Hurts can get a garbage time touchdown, all of a sudden it's a push. Plus, I think they could actually win this game. I might throw $5 on the money line.
Yeah, why? What makes you
Well,
think
because last year Oklahoma was big underdogs against Alabama. Alabama controlled the entire game, and somehow in garbage time, Oklahoma decided to cover. I think it's going to be a very similar outcome in this one.
You just got burnt by them once, and now you're deciding to bet on them.
By Oklahoma or
Yeah,
LSU?
by Oklahoma. Didn't you said last year?
No, I've been betting on Oklahoma all year. I like Jalen Hurts a lot.
I mean, yeah, he's a great quarterback, but the rest of the team, CeeDee Lamb's good too.
You're right, the defense is very bad, but the offense is, I think the offense can compete.
I'm rocking with LSU, guys. I'm sorry, man. LSU is like, they're a little NFL team. I mean, they was beating Alabama by more than 14, and that was with Tua.
Okay, all right, so we disagree on that one. I think we disagree on the next one. The Fiesta Bowl, Clemson minus 2 against Ohio State. I'm taking the Buckeyes in this one. Actually, Buckeyes money line. Clemson hasn't played anyone in college football. I know they won last year. That's really cool. And I know they went undefeated. But when that was UCF, do you know what everybody told them? Tough luck. You haven't played anybody. And that's the same thing I'm saying to Clemson in this one. Ohio State's had a really tough schedule. They faced adversity. And the only adversity that Clemson faced this entire year was surviving a 2-point conversion against North Carolina. Give me the Buckeyes.
They played one close game this whole season. They beat every opponent outside of that by 30 points. I mean, all right, just so you guys understand our bias here. I'm an ACC guy because I'm a University of Miami Hurricane alum, and he's a Big Ten guy. He's always loved the Big Ten, and so this is kind of a battle for us. Now, I think Clemson, by far, I think the Big Ten is vastly overrated. I think Ohio State is not as good as they were in previous years, and I'm taking Clemson right now to destroy them the same way they were beating all the rest of the ACC teams. I mean, hell, Miami probably could beat Ohio State.
Okay, well, that's a freezing cold take. That
No.
Miami could beat Ohio State?
Yeah.
You just gave
Any
a
given
bunch of really
Saturday.
good points, and then you throw it all away by saying something bizarre.
All right. Let's
This
be
is
honest.
probably the best Ohio State team we've seen in the last couple of years.
I remember in 2001 when we were cheated out of a championship by Ohio State. Everybody was like, "Oh, Ohio State has no chance against Miami," and they somehow beat us because of the referees.
I
So don't
remember
ever
2001 too. I was 9 years old. That's a long time ago.
Well, I hope that you don't have amnesia and think that Ohio State is going to – they need the referees' help. Clemson beat them. Clemson going to beat them for Miami, bro, just because they cheated them that year. That's why Clemson going to dog them. They're going to dog them and drag them.
Who do you think wins it all, though?
LSU, easy.
Easy?
Easy.
After you just said all that stuff about Clemson, that LSU's going to win it easy?
I don't see Clemson winning 3 of the last 4 national championships. Even though I'm an ACC guy, I love it. LSU looks real this year. Real deal.
Well, I hope LSU wins it all because they'll probably be underdogs against Clemson if Clemson somehow wins.
No, they will not. They're the number 1 seed.
Well, our producer, Kent, thinks that Clemson's for sure going to win. So we'll see what happens. But next week,
wrong.
I know, next show I'm going to laugh about how I was very right about this. But all right, everybody, this has been Week 16. Good luck betting on the NFL. As always, this is Mad Bets.
Bet the favorites.